Hey guys, don't buy a Ferrari. Buy a rental property instead because the rental property in 10 years is going to have a huge value, while the value of the Ferrari in 10 years will have a tiny value. And the actual rent from your rental property can pay for the Ferrari. So you should buy the rental property first. So basically, my Ferrari is fully paid off by the real estate investing that I do. I make $144,000 every year in passive income net after all the expenses, mortgages, and taxes from my 19 rental properties. And Ryan and I have helped over 10,000 people secure their investment property through this podcast and also through the DealMachine app. So if you guys want to build wealth and quit your 9 to 5 job and drive supercars, we're hosting a challenge, which you can Google DealMachine Cold Calling Challenge right now in October, where we'll walk you through the steps to find your very first deal. Ryan, how do you guys pay for your Cadillac and your Mustang?
Yeah, so years ago, Megan and I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I can even go back a little bit more prior to reading that book. Megan and I completed the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University, and the intent was pay off all the debt. And so we worked really hard, taking a lot of the money that we were earning in our 9 to 5s and paying off our cars. At the time, before real estate, we had like a 2011 GMC Acadia and a 2005 Ford 500. It was a piece of junk, but they were both paid off and we had no car payment. And that was nice, but neither of those cars were cars that I would say this is what I want for my life. The goal was not having a car payment, but the goal was also having nice cars. And so when we read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it was like, oh, if you want the nice car, you can buy it. But in order to buy it, you need to buy a rental property that's going to cash flow that will pay for the car. Either the car payment gets paid for by the rental properties, or by doing enough of them and just saving, you can buy the car outright. And so that's what Megan and I did. Anytime that we wanted something, be it a car or be it something fun and nice, a tractor, whatever it is, we always said, okay, well, let's buy 2 more properties that are going to pay for this thing. So the Mustang was that for me. I wanted a Ford Mustang. I wanted a convertible. I wanted a GT. That was my car. And so in order to do that, I knew I needed to go and get 3 more rental properties that are I can take the cash flow from those rental properties and pay for that monthly payment. And so we went out and we got 3 properties. Then fast forward, we need a bigger car. And I wanted Megan to have something nice. And so we want the Cadillac Escalade. Well, in order to get that Escalade, I need to have $800 a month. So what do I need to do to get $800 a month? I need to go and buy 3 more rental properties that are going to pay for that. So go out and buy 3 more rental properties that are going to pay for your car. The good thing, and the thing that you have to remember, not only are you getting the cash flow to get what you want, but now you have a cash flowing asset that the mortgage is getting paid down every single month. You have equity growth in the property. You probably have automatic equity in the property, and you have depreciation. There's tons of benefits to that property that add to your income further than just the cash flow. So if you were to just take your money and go buy a car, that car, to your point, is going to go down in value. It's not going to make you any money. And in 10 years, it'll be worth half of what, or maybe even a third of what it was when you bought it. It's not going to do anything in appreciation. So reversing that and buying things that are going to appreciate cash flow and go down and increase in equity and using them paying for your luxuries, that was the way that we went about it.
So when you talked about getting those first 3 rental properties, how much money did you have to put down or invest in order to have 3 rental properties that would pay for $800 a month car payment?
Man, we didn't put any money down on any of those. So
Okay. How does that work?
our rental properties, the first 3, the first 2 big rental properties we had were 2 duplexes. And We found them. A friend of ours had them, and we negotiated a price with them. What we did, we went to the bank and we were asking for a loan for the purchase price of these two duplexes. So the way that we adjusted it is we worked out a deal with the sellers. The bank was going to give us 80% of that deal. And then what we did is we, the price that we, this sounds really shady now that I'm saying it out loud, but the price that we negotiated with the sellers and the amount that we had given to the bank, basically the seller said, hey, we'll just say that you've given us the 20% down payment. That way, the bank giving you the 80% of this number is totally free. So we had no cash down on those two rental properties. To this day, both of those properties are our biggest cash flowing assets. So,
So normally that happens when you buy a rundown property and you fix it up. The value of the house has increased quite a bit more than what you've spent on it.
mhm,
Um, but the seller was giving you a discount because they really needed to sell. And
yes,
the bank did an appraisal that was higher than what the seller wanted to walk away with, right?
correct. Yep.
And so that's how that worked out.
Yeah. So, and then from that point, like when we started wholesaling, then we were negotiating great deals. So that whole the BRRRR strategy was completely different. Again, still not using any of our own money. Like we had our first
And
BRRRR,
that
we
stands
did
for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat.
correct. Yep. The first one that we did the entire renovation on credit cards that had 0% interest. So we've spent $50,000 repairing a house that none of that was our own money. We bought
How
the
much
house
did the house cost? Yeah.
$1,000. We bought the
Oh,
house
it's
for
really run down.
$1,000. It was
Yeah.
really run down. But then we took that, we had that property completely done, a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, completely renovated. We took that to the bank and said, we already own this. We want to get a loan on it. We want to do a cash out refinance. And so they did an appraisal. The appraisal came back at $135,000. And the bank said, we'll give you 70% of what that value, that 135, we'll give you 70% of that. So we got the money back to pay off all the cards. Plus, we had pocketed extra capital from that one deal. And that was going to go on in cash flow. I think that one's cash flowing $400 a month currently.
So, all right, you spent 50,000 on credit cards to renovate it, paying a contractor to renovate that. You spent 1,000 on the actual purchase of the house. So, what did it appraise for afterwards?
135.
135. Okay, so you probably got $90,000 from the bank when you took out a mortgage, right?
Yep.
The 90 comes from being 75% of 135. So you took the 90, paid 50 to the credit cards, and then you put the other 40 in your pocket.
Correct.
That's the burst strategy. And
That's
then
the
you
burst
rented it out.
strategy.
The tenant pays for the actual mortgage every single month, and you have more cash in your pocket tax free.
Yeah. Tax free. We
Love
had
it.
$40,000 tax free in our pocket. Now, we could have just gone and paid cash for a car with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take that and you go buy another property, you
Right.
can continue to do that. And eventually you're sitting on a load of cash that's all
Right.
tax free.
Right. Well, let me stop you right there. If you guys are listening to this and you want to learn how to find one of these off-market deals that are highly discounted, allows you to create the value by fixing it up and then renting it out, I want you guys to join our actual cold calling challenge where we walk you through this October. It's going on right now, that you could still join. It's not too late. Go to search DealMachine Cold Calling Challenge on Google, and the page will come up, and you can join one of our live sessions that we do weekly. Thanks. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.